In 2014, an average of 20 veterans a day committed suicide, according to a newly released study conducted by the VA, the Department of Defense, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
We started the war in Iraq. We spent $2 trillion on that war. We lost thousands of lives. We have wounded warriors who I love all over the place. It shouldn't have started.
His remarks came in Virginia Beach near Norfolk Naval Station. He also today outlined a 10-point plan to help veterans and reform what few argue remains a badly broken Veterans Administration.
Every veteran in America has the choice to seek care at the Veterans Administration or to seek private medical care paid for by our government.
Trump slammed Clinton for having downplayed VA problems in the past and promised investigations into VA incompetence and corruption, warning if Congress balks at changes, he'll use executive actions to clean house.
I'm going to use every lawful authority to remove and discipline federal employees or managers who fail our veterans or breach the public trust.
Love meeting Todd. He's a wounded warrior, and I told him how much you love the vets. Todd, what is your question?
Hey, Todd.
Hey, how are you?
These are our greatest people, the wounded warriors. These are the greatest. The best. Great, Todd.
Lost my train of thought there.
Is that your daughter?
It is.
Wow, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wife? Wow, beautiful. What a family. Good.
Okay.
I want to come. I got to say hello to Todd. Look at this guy.
No, I told him you love him.
What a look. Hold it, Todd. Wait.
Didn't I tell you how much he loves his vets? I told him about you.
That's a perfect family. Beautiful family. Go ahead, Todd.
I just wanted to ask, one of the real struggles after 21 years of active Army service, especially with 101st Airborne that deployed constantly. What else, with the current administration, warrior care is lacking, to say the least, and especially after, post-service. My wife, April, here is my full-time caregiver, compensated by the VA. I don't work anymore since I was told I was leaving the Army. What else will the Trump administration do better than the Obama administration?
Is the VA not doing the job?
My wife could help you with that.
Right now, he needs some more treatment, and I'm being told from the VA that you have to go through this new choice program, but we can't get the appointment. Like, he's not all the time in the wheelchair, but...
Will you write out your card?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to write out your card, and I am going to put pressure on the VA like you won't believe. Let's see if we can get that, right? Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. Okay, so we're going to have, hey, I tell you what, as president, I can guarantee it. As Trump, I can say I'll probably be able to pull it off anyway. Because they know it won't stop. It'll be easier to take Todd and just say, look, we're going to work with you, Todd, okay? So will you get me that number and everything, and we'll make sure that everything gets... And somebody else, who else over here? You had problems with the VA also, huh? Terrible? I just hear terrible. And we're going to solve that problem. It can be solved because the waits now for the VA are longer than they've ever been.
So how did you make the decision that you wanted to give Donald Trump your Purple Heart?
Well, it wasn't an easy decision because that was something that was very precious to me, but I thought that he was going to make a very good commander-in-chief, and I wanted him to have that medal in his hand to remember all the people that has fought and died for this country. Our veteran cemeteries are full of people that have fought and died for this country, and there's a lot of people walking around the streets with hidden injuries like myself. Mm-hmm. If you look at myself, you wouldn't tell that I was injured because it's all internal. And I just want him to remember that.
What did you say to Mr. Trump when you handed him the medal?
I asked him if he would accept this and remember all of the veterans that have fought and died for this country and that are still fighting the war like myself, internally with post-traumatic stress, and I wanted just him to remember that when he was Commander-in-Chief.
Now, some have said, oh, that's not the real Purple Heart. That was a copy of a Purple Heart. Can you tell us what is the truth?
It was my real Purple Heart. I showed, I had 2 Purple Hearts with me. I had my original in my pocket, and I had another one that I was showing in case it got damaged or lost or snatched or whatever the case may be. I wanted him to have my real Purple Heart.
You know, so I got here today. I came into the airport, and I ran into a friend of mine that's a mutual friend of Colonel Oliver North. You know, right. Colonel Ollie North.
Good
okay,
guy.
Really great guy.
Right.
And an American here, and a great American. Yes, sir. And his former bodyguard was there. I said, oh, hi, how are you? Good to see you. And he had a guy with him, and I want to bring him up. His name is Corporal Tony Porter. He's the head of Vets for Trump. Right. I want him to tell you his story. Why don't you take my seat? Go ahead, sit down.
Sit over there, Tom.
I'll just stand off to the side.
Thank you.
You sit down. So, right?
So nice.
You told
Tony.
He's the head of Vets for Trump.
Great guy.
How many tours of duty did you serve?
1, sir.
Okay. And you have now been 6 years in recovery from a horrible IED explosion that killed 2 of your friends.
Yes, sir.
And you told me, and again, this just happened today at the airport, you told me a horrible story about how the Veterans Administration is treating you. You're with Vets for Trump, and I thought you could tell him your story and hopefully get the answer you want to hear about fixing the VA, which has just been morally corrupt. So.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you,
on last night. You did
That
awesome.
was good. He's been my friend. He's been my friend. Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
My name is Corporal Ronnie Porter. I'm a U.S. Marine. 2000. Thank you. Wow. I joined the Marine Corps in 2005 because I wanted to do my part. I wanted to serve to protect my new country. So I deployed to Iraq in 2007. In May 5th, 2007, I lost 2 of my best friends. And I suffered these injuries. I really don't mind about my injuries. I'm really, really hurt about my 2 friends. But I'm here for a reason. I'm here to fight. I'm here to help my fellow veterans. I'm here for them. So I was really struggling. I was in San Antonio for 6 years, over 100 surgeries, just to be this way.
Okay.
So after that, I retired. I went back home. Home wasn't home anymore. So I moved to West Virginia. And I went to many VAs. Couple VAs were awful. I was there, I was waiting for appointments for several weeks. And now I'm going to a smaller VA. It's really good, I like it. Has a lot of problems. But I'm here for the other veterans. I'm here for them because I cannot, thank you. I cannot see my fellow veterans killing themselves for lack of help. I cannot do that.
Let me only because of the constraints of time. I know you want to ask him.
Yes.
Our vets have been treated horribly.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah. And you're sticking up for our vets, and you're helping those with PTSD and those that have been suffering and those that have been mistreated like you have.
Yes, sir.
And your question is, what as president would you do to fix this?
Okay. Well, you know, Tony, it's been one of my big things. And I know I've seen you around, and I've been your friend in a sense, and we're going to be better friends. But we have to help the vets. And, you know, it's always been a big, very big part. It's been a staple in my speeches. I always mention the vets, and I don't mention the military without talking about the vets. The Veterans Administration is corrupt. It's a corrupt deal. And And I say this, and I say it very strongly. We're going to take care of our vets. And when they have to wait for 2 weeks and a week and...
Some died waiting.
Well, they die waiting.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it so if they have waiting, we're going to move them out. We're going to get them to doctors that are in the area. It's going to cost less money. And we're going to take care of them immediately. Hospitals that are not even doing well in the area, they could take them immediately, and we'll pay those bills. And I'll tell you what, John, it's going to cost a lot less money, and we're going to save tremendous numbers of lives so you can have great medical care. But that's just the beginning. We're going to take care of the vets.
One more thing, sir. I'm here representing vets for Trump. When you become president, I don't want you to work for those guys who are giving tons of money to a lot of people.
Right.
I want you to work for us.
That's right.
For us. Thank you.
Once again, show me the candidate. What has Hillary Clinton done for our veterans of the United States of America? Nothing.
And we're back with Tana Gertz, a Trump campaign senior advisor. And so we were just talking about, Tana, the fact that tomorrow Donald Trump is expected to announce what happened with the money that he raised back in January at that veterans charity event. A big question among people is, why did it take him almost 4 months to do this?
Well, you know, Pamela, it takes between 6 weeks to 6 months to properly vet these organizations that came to us when they realized that Mr. Trump wasn't going to do a Fox debate and that we were going to be raising money for veterans organizations. There are many organizations out there that are worthy of the money, but we wanted to make sure that they were properly vetted, and the homework was done, and we've done the work, and now there are great organizations that have been on the other end receiving this wonderful money, and they are so thrilled. And I've talked with lots of the organizations that said we were closing our doors before Mr. Trump came along. We were turning veterans away. Veterans were going home and committing suicide. None of this could have ever been possible without Mr. Trump.
And you're saying that basically it's taking so long because of the vetting, but it was only just last week that Trump personally donated $1 million to the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation. That's a group he's donated to in the past. He was even honored at the foundation's gala last year. Obviously, the foundation had already been vetted and was and one that he had a relationship with. So what was the holdup there with the $1 million going there?
I mean, the holdup is $1 million is a lot of money. Mr. Trump said that night, I can't recall what it was, but I know it was before February the 1st. It was in January.
But he didn't pay up until the Washington Post came out on social media and really seemingly held his feet to the fire, reaching out to veterans groups saying, have you received this money from Trump? Turns out, shortly after that, Trump donates this $1 million to this foundation that he's been a part of for longer than the last few months, showing that he didn't have to vet this foundation before donating to it.
Right. Pamela, that organization was not vetted, but Mr. Trump's $1 million was in the Veterans Fund that evening after he left Des Moines, Iowa. That $1 million that Mr. Trump gave to the veterans for the United States of America, that money was already allocated and it was in the pot waiting to be distributed. So it's not like Mr. Trump went, oh, now I think I'll write that check. No, he was always writing the check and the money was always there. It was just being distributed. And like I said, I can't wait for tomorrow. We'll finally put this all to rest and people can actually be saying, wow, he did this. He's got, I mean, I don't care if it was $500,000. Once again, show me the candidate. What has Hillary Clinton done for our veterans of the United States of America? Nothing. So we should be saying, way to go, Mr. Trump. I don't care if it was $500,000. It's $6 million or very close to that he is giving to veterans of the United States of America that make our lives easier, where I can say I'm free and I didn't have to serve our country. They did it for us.
In 2014, an average of 20 veterans a day committed suicide, according to a newly released study conducted by the VA, the Department of Defense, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
We started the war in Iraq. We spent $2 trillion on that war. We lost thousands of lives. We have wounded warriors who I love all over the place. It shouldn't have started.
His remarks came in Virginia Beach near Norfolk Naval Station. He also today...
Great, Todd.
Lost my train of thought there.
Is that your daughter?
It is.
Wow, she's so beautiful. Yeah. Wife? Wow, beautiful. What a family. Good. Okay. I want to come to... I got to say hello to Todd. Look at this guy.
No, I told him you love him.
What a look. Hold it, Todd. Wait.
Didn't I tell you how much he loves his vets? I told him about you.
He'll use executive actions to clean house.
I'm going to use every lawful authority to remove and discipline federal employees or managers who fail our veterans or breach the public trust.
Love meeting Todd. He's a wounded warrior, and I told him how much you love the vets. Todd, what is your question?
Hey, Todd.
Hey, how are you?
These are our greatest people, the wounded warriors. These are the greatest. The best. That's a perfect family, beautiful family. Go ahead, Joe.
I just wanted to ask, one of the real struggles after 21 years of active Army service, especially with 101st Airborne that deployed constantly, what else with the current administration, warrior care is lacking, to say the least.
And they outlined a 10-point plan to help veterans and reform what few argue remains a badly broken Veterans Administration.
Every veteran in America has the choice to seek care at the Veterans Administration or to seek private medical care paid for by our government.
Trump slammed Clinton for having downplayed VA problems in the past and promised investigations into VA incompetence and corruption, warning if Congress balks at changes,